What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James. I'm back in the building, man, and we're talking about film time. We're going to do some film time on linebacker Jabril Cox. The title of this video is a Jabril Cox signing. We've been all screaming about Jabril Cox. Why hasn't he played? We saw a little bit last year. He was the fourth round steal linebacker out of LSU. 6'3", 240 pounds. You could play him at linebacker. He played safety. He was a versatile athlete coming out of, went to North Dakota State, then transferred to LSU, I believe his final season. Turned up, did a lot of good things. Fell in the draft. I wonder why, but I think one of the reasons why, in my opinion, the reason why he fell in the draft was because he wasn't that physical, a tackler, was mostly a good coverage guy, had the speed, coverage, tight ends, receivers, running backs out the backfield, but just wasn't the guy that was really going to stick his nose in there and really make those tackles. I noticed that at North Dakota State. I said that why he probably got knocked down in the draft, because he was not a big tackler at all. Didn't want that kind of smoke, in my opinion. Of course, I could be totally wrong, but I don't think so. But here he is now. This is year two. The rookie year, he had the torn ACL in the Giants game. We saw him in the preseason. We saw him in the training camp, and we were like, hey, we're ready for to see the Jabril Cox, and it has not manifested at all this season. A lot of people have been wondering why, but when I asked myself before we jump into this video, why is he not getting any tick? They signed Anthony Barr. They must just not felt he was ready to take that action. Dan Quinn must not have trusted him enough to put him in that position. They went and signed Anthony Barr because they waited for a long time to sign Anthony Barr. So I wonder if they were waiting for Jabril Cox to step up and may not like what they saw. They wanted to go with a veteran. They already had a pretty much veteran-laden team on the defense. A lot of guys that have been around. So it makes sense for them to go after Anthony Barr, bring that veteran leadership, size, what they like, things of that nature. Also, LV has stepped his play up as well this year, and he signed back on a one-year deal. You had Michael Parsons playing linebacker, but now it seems like he's a full-time edge guy. He does not even smell a linebacker. He's on that edge. So right now you got Anthony Barr, LVE, and we've seen the young rookie Damone Clark, who played at LSU with Jabril, and he has hit the ground running. He was out for like 7 weeks. Came back after that neck injury and has been hitting the ground running. And I believe the main reason why he plays over Jabril Cox, because he brings a physical nature that Cox does not. And I believe that's the reason why Cox is not playing. He's just not a big-time tackler like a Damone Clark. You see Damone Clark is in there and active, and I feel like maybe they don't think that about Jabril Cox. That would be my only thing. Now, a lot of people were frustrated with Luke Gifford playing over Jabril, but I'm going to be honest with you, Luke Gifford has been in the program since 2019 as an undrafted free agent. 2019, 2020, 21, 22, and he's here. They signed him on I believe it was a 1 year or 2 year deal, maybe. But they like Luke. And let's keep it real. Well, I'm going to keep it real. When Luke was undrafted in 2019, I went to camp that year. And he was a guy that was showing to me. He was a guy we were all talking about that year. Like, look at this Luke Gifford, 6'3", 245, baby Sean Lee, not baby Sean Lee, but had the characteristics, had some good traits. You could see the sideline to sideline, very active. A lot of people were waiting for Luke Gifford to be the guy, remember? Everybody was talking about Luke Gifford the first couple of years, but then he kind of just flamed out. They moved on, and we don't talk about him. But now that he's in the game playing over Jabril Cox, we're like, what? Why is Luke Gifford playing? Jabril Cox should be playing. Well, Luke Gifford done put in more time than Jabril Cox, and I feel like Luke Gifford is going to be more physical in the run game, and he's more reactionary. And if you look at a little bit of this tape right here, we're going to show Jabril Cox, but I got 3 or 4 plays with Luke Gifford. Now, he's not the most physical guy, but just look at his reaction time and his speed, and he's on. I think he knows this defense, and that's the reason why he plays over Jabril Cox as well. He knows this defense, and if he knows this defense, you're going to play. And I think he just knows it better than a Jabril Cox right now. He's more assertive, more confident, and I feel like they're not ready. And I think next year is going to be the year where we see Cox, because people are going to be leaving next year. LVE, I don't know if he's coming back. Donovan Wilson, I don't know if he's coming back. Going to be missing people in that secondary and linebacking core. That's going to be his job to step up instead of them drafting another linebacker. Now you could have a Cox. You could have we don't know what's going on. Anthony Barr probably not going to be back, so you got a Damone Clark. You got Cox. That linebacker room is going to be bare next year, so it's optimal that he steps up and shows something heading into next year. Obviously, probably not this year, but let's just see a little bit of his tape. So here's Luke Gifford right here. I'm showing you the first 3 plays, and then we'll look at Jabril Cox. One thing I like about Luke Gifford, he's not the most physical guy. Got pushed around a little bit, but his reaction time is really good. And look, like I said, he knows his defense. So I think that's why he gets the first crack at it before Jabril Cox. You can see this play right here. This is coverage. Now, right here, he probably should have cut that better than that. Still makes the tackle. Don't make the tackle, but he was still in on that play. But watch right here. I'd rather Gifford on this play. Watch. Now, right here, there's the running back. I like Gifford to slow down right here because he's taking a bad angle. You can see that running back's going to cut right off of this back. So he's got to slow down. Look where that blocker is. He got to slow down. But I kind of see where he's doing, but he's kind of got to slow his body down because he overruns the play, because you can see him right here. I see where he was headed, but that cutback is coming. And you can see it right there. But I like how he turns, still stays involved in the play. Then we got him again right here. See how quick he is on the reaction time now. See, not physical. You see he gets pushed back right there. But he's quick on the ball. Watch. Boom. Like, he's quick right there. Like, he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't wait. He goes after it. But like I said, he's not the most physical guy. Okay? But he's not afraid to stick his nose in there, though. That's what I like about him. Here we got him again, I believe, right here. Let's check him out. Now, look at that. Now, I don't know if that was a linebacker blitz, but he instantly took off right there. And he blows up number 72. Trevin Diggs should have caught that, big dog. But let's look at that play again. Here's Gifford right here. Watch him come on. Looks like a linebacker blitz. Either it's a linebacker blitz, he came right there reading that hole. And he blows up number 70. So if that would have been a run play, that would have been a great play where he threw 70 on that ground. Okay, here we got him again here once more. Like I said, he reacts very well. Watch this. Like look. I like that. Here we go. We got him again right here. Dropping speed. Like I said, he reacts to the ball quickly. And Nashawn Wright got to get in that weight room, big dog. See him right here. Watch. Boom. Look. See. Go. And like I said, I just think he has the advantage of knowing his defense. Now we got a Jabril Cox signing. You see him right here. Luke Gifford is still in the game. There's Jabril Cox right there. Jabril Cox right here. Let's look at some Jabril Cox. Stayed home. You see Luke Gifford still in that play. He battles. So both of those guys were playing in that set. It looks like they were in that nickel set, that 4-2-5, that Deacon defense that we talk about so much. Looks like they're playing that nickel defense. 2 linebackers right here, both of them watching coverage. Both of them, I don't know if Luke Gifford is the best in coverage, but I would say Jabril Cox, with his range and his speed and things of that nature, he'd be a great player to play in the pass game. So right here. And I'm be honest with you. It's not a lot of what we say explosive tape. It's not any tape that's going to be like, ooh, Jabril Cox should be playing more. There he goes, makes a tackle right here, I believe. Now he gets up a little woozy too. Watch this play right here after he makes his tackle. I like how he battle back. Watch this play. Watch when he makes his hit. He got a woozy as hell. Let's watch. Watch the hit. He hits his head. Now watch. Watch how he gets up. Ooh wee. You see that? You see that? Watch how he gets up. Ooh, yeah. That was a little jar right there. But he stayed in the game. I like that. I like how he said, I ain't coming out. And you see a lot of his stuff was coverage. That was a deep pass. Good defense by Nashawn Wright. Way to step up. And I think I got your interception in here. I said step in the right direction. He got abused a little bit. You see Jabril Cox dropping in coverage. Right, Sean Wright makes a tackle. Coverage with Cox was in that area. Like I said, that's where you'll see his best coverage. But I got Nashawn's right interception here because, want to give it a little bit of shout out to that, even though he got cooked up a little bit, 7 out of 10, 105 yards, but still got the big interception. Good blitz right here. Luke Gifford was right there in the spot, but when people are always like, why is Luke Gifford playing? I just think that staff loves him. You're on the team 4 years and you're undrafted. He's like a CJ Goodwin. Like, not saying you're untouchable, but he can do multiple things. You can see that. Oh, St. Williams had that sack. Drawn out. Boom. Hey, Sean Wright, I had to get that for you, big dog. I had to throw that in there, even though it's Jabril Cox tape. You see Jabril right here, too. Dropping in coverage. And this is at the end of the game. Not anything significant, but at least you can see him on there. We'll see what happens in this Washington Commanders game. Obviously Philadelphia is going to have to be playing for something against these Giants. Washington, the Commanders are eliminated. So it's a game that don't mean nothing for Dallas. Will they play their starters? Will they go hard? Jabril Cox on another good tackle right here. Will they do that? That's what you wonder. But at the end of the day, I still want to see if he can get as many snaps as he can right now. Let's keep it all the way real. I want to see him get these snaps in this Washington Commanders game. He's going to need as much as he can get. I want to see him involved in a lot of tackling. I don't want to just see him in coverage. You see him a lot in this game in coverage right here. And he got a couple tackles, but I want to see him in that ground game. I want to see how physical he is in the point of attack. Does he get pushed around by the guards? Do the linebackers or the running backs peeling him? Is he able to drop with those tight ends? Is he able to make that? I want to see that in the Commanders game because, like I said, this is a game that you don't really have to play for except you want momentum. But I feel like the Cowboys will be okay. Before I was like, let's play these starters so we can get good momentum. But I think this is a game where you really don't need that. I feel like you should be confident enough as you watch this tape with Jabril Cox. This should be a game you should be confident enough to be able to sit some guys out and get some guys that have no experience to get some. And I think this is optimally where you want to see a Jabril Cox because he's going to be a guy that probably not going to you're not going to play this year, right? But you got to be able to see what you got heading into next year. You see him right here. So I'm really interested to see what he's going to do. I hope he can play a lot in this Commanders game because I don't think, he's probably going to get any more time in the playoffs unless there's a major injury to one of the top people. So those are just my quick thoughts on Jabril Cox, Luke Gifford. As I said before, I think Luke Gifford plays over him because he's been in the program 4 years. They trust him. He plays special teams, although Jabril Cox does too. But, they can put Gifford in as a pinch, and he was a guy Dallas was looking towards in a couple years. His first 2 years, you were looking at him to make a waves and become possibly a starter, but he kept on staying injured. Remember, Luke Gifford's first 2 years, he was injured. And then he started finally getting some tick. Jabril Cox got hurt his first year, and now he's still trying to find his way. I think year 3, what we'll see is hopefully the real Jabril Cox because a lot of people, there are going to be spots open in that linebacker position. There's going to be spots open in that safety position. So where he's that hybrid player, I think next year is where you're really going to see the Jabril Cox, and you won't see him this year, and Dan Quinn's not going to put him in this year unless there's an injury. They're going to go with the veterans. They're going to go with LVE. They're going to go with Anthony Barr. They're going to go with the young Rook Damone Clark because, he's just more physical. And I think you're just a wait and see for next year. But it was exciting to at least see him in the game, at least be able to see him get his feet wet a little bit. When I looked at their snaps, Luke Gifford only has 37 defensive snaps and Jabril Cox has 31. So it's not like it's head and shoulders above Jabril Cox as far as the playing time. He's right there. But right now he's just a reserve, and I think that's just what it's going to be until next year, where he has to step up and really take a spot, because we don't even know if Dan Quinn's going to be here. His name is in the air about a possible head coaching job. He may take it because it seems like he wants that challenge again. So if it's a whole new staff, maybe he gets a different chance, but it's going to be a different guy dealing with him because you're not his guy. So we'll just have to see how it goes. But in my opinion, you probably won't see no Jabril Cox this year. But it was good to see him get his little feet wet. Hopefully he can get some tick in that Washington Commanders game and continue to learn and grow. But I really want to see him in that run side of the game, really not so much the passing side. I want to see him in the run game and see if he can get physical and make plays, because that's why I believe Damone Clark is playing over him right now. So we'll see what happens. Check out the tape, give it a like, share, all that good stuff, and then we'll be right back at it tomorrow with the Best of Enemies podcast and the final word. We got some good explosive stuff coming because it's the end of the season, dog, and playoffs is right around the corner, so make sure you stay tuned for that.